consecutive lecture, and it's online, of course. You need to hear me out well. So, continuing to explain the details and the characters of Animal Farm that will help guide you understand the plot of the novel we've chosen to study this semester. So, starting with Animal Farm characters overview. Now we'll get to know the characters of the Animal Farm. Like the characters in Animal Farm can be split into three groups, as you will see while you reading through the novel: the humans, the pigs, and the other animals. The humans are the villains, thoughtless, and neglectful. The pigs are scheming, clever, and forceful, and replace the humans as villains. The other farmyard animals are trusting, passive, and hardworking. They're passive. They work hard. They are the heroic victims of a novel. Each group, of course, represents a different element of the Russian Revolution in 1917 that Orwell tries to depict in his novel and will teach you a lesson of societal class we've been talking about since the first lecture. As you see in your slide, our main characters, we have main characters, we have secondary characters, and we have minor characters. So the main characters of the novel are Old Major and Napoleon and Snowball and Boxer. These four are the main characters of the novel. Okay? Our secondary characters, Mr. Jones, the farm's owner, Squealer, and Benjamin. Okay, so these three are the secondary characters اللي هم الشخصيات الثانوية بعد الأساسية اللي ذكرناها في الأول. However, our minor characters, we have many of minor characters. Okay, we have a Clover, the mother figure of the farm, a kind and caring horse that sees the faults in Napoleon's rule, but like Boxer, lacks the words to express herself. She lacks the words to express herself. However, she understands the quality of Napoleon. And the dogs, one of minor characters, there are good dogs. Bluebell, their names are Bluebell, Jesse, and Bitcher. Then there are Napoleon's dogs that he uses to police the farm. They represent the secret organizations of the police. These are Napoleon's dogs. The hens, they bravely protest about their eggs being taken, and exported to humans. Molly, a horse that's happy to be ruled by humans. He's happy actually with humans, as you'll see in your novel. Moses, John's pet, Raven, also a preacher. The young pigs, they speak out against Napoleon and are executed as a result. Yes. So even those animals who oppose the ruling of Napoleon, they get executed or slaughtered. The sheep, they interrupt debate on a farm with a chance of 4 legs good, 2 legs back, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. So they always interrupt any debate in reference to animals when they're saying 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, in reference to humans because they're against humans. They play a crucial role in Napoleon's rise to power. They support Napoleon, so their role is clear. Mr. Pilkington, an easy-going gentleman farmer who spends most of his time hunting. And Mr. Frederick, he's a minor character, a tough farmer who fights to get what he wants. You will see it in the novel. You'll get used to such names in the novel. Mr. Wimper, a lawyer that the pigs hire. Lawyer that the pigs hire. So these are three kinds of characters in novel. The humans, we've mentioned the humans. Some of them in the main and some of them are minor or secondary characters, and the pigs and other animals, because pigs will be in control of the animal farm later. You'll see during the plot of the novel. Okay, animal farm, key plot details. Now, as you see the picture in front of you, starting from top, going through the whole story until the end where the pigs end up behaving Mr. Jones. So hear me out and try to apply what you hear to each step, starting with Old Major calls a secret meeting. Going through the rebellion begins, as you see in the picture on the slide. So starting from the top, Old Major, the prize bow, calls a secret meeting of all the farm animals on Manor Farm. He states that a rebellion against their human master, Mr. Jones, will one day come. That's his philosophy. As you see in the picture, a cow running after men. A cow starts the rebellion by walking into the store shed. The animals end up chasing Mr. Jones off the farm, as you see in the picture. The rebellion begins, where Mr. Jones runs out before the cow out of the farm. Now, as you see, number 3 picture, now they are free. The animals all agree on the 7 commandments that they will live by. The farm is renamed Animal Farm. أعادوا تسميتها إلى Animal Farm. There is hope for a better future. All animals hope for a good future. The pigs, as you say, take advantage, start to order the other animals around and take more food than they should. That's where they start to take control of a farm. Going through the story, the animals bravely fight off human attempt to retake a farm. This becomes known as the Battle of Cow Shed. سموها بالمعركة الكاو شيد. The animals set to work building a windmill and Napoleon takes charge. So Napoleon takes charge of this rebuilding. Later, Napoleon reduces the rations rights of the animals and starts breaking the commandments. He started breaking the rules as rules, these commandments as rules. There is another invasion by the men and a windmill is blown up. Boxer collapses whilst rebuilding it for the second time and later ends up in a slaughterhouse. And they lie the other animals that the boxer gets the best treatment possible. Napoleon and the other pigs, learn to walk on their hind legs, wear human clothes, and carry wipes. Despite all their hard work, the animals of a farm are right back to where they began. Hungry, scared, and exploited by those in charge. So that's why life is as bad for animals as humans. So they get bad treatments while they were under the control of humans or Mr. Jones' farm, or now with their peers of other animals. So yeah, that's That's it. Now we're moving into plot summaries of part 1, 2, 3. Hey, to help you understand more novel, now let's talk about detailed plot summary part 1. What happened in part 1 is detailed plot. Okay, like I've tried to divide them into sections. Old Major inspires Old Major inspires the animals to rebel. Okay, Old Major delivers. How did he do that? He delivers a speech to all the farm animals. He points out that their lives are difficult, full of hardship, and that they would live in slavery because of the way Farmer Jones treats them. So he gives them a motivational speech. According to Old Major, all men are enemies. Yes, he quotes. He in his speech he tries to inspire other animals by saying all men are enemies. يعني يخبرهم أن كل البشر أعداء للحيوان because of cruelty. في وحشية يعني في المعاملة. All animals are equal and one day there will be a rebellion. Okay, ستكون فيه ثورة يعني أخبرهم. He then teaches the animals a song called Beasts of England. The song is about animals overthrowing man and being free. So يحاولوا هم في الثورة بتاعهم هذه أن يحاولوا البشر بحيث أن هم يكونوا في حرية وفي أمان أكثر. But then they establish later they come to establish what's called what they name animalism. What is it? What's animalism? Old Major dies 3 nights later. Okay, and 3 pigs Snowball. The pigs اللي هم حشاكم الخنازير. واحد اسمه سنوبول ذكرناهم في الكاركترز. And Napoleon and Esquila take Old Major's teaching and turn it into a way of thinking called animalism. As Marx, the philosopher of many concepts about society, he dies before he sees the revolution in a Russian revolution. Okay, so that's how Orwell depicts it. Old Major's teaching and turned it into a way of thinking called animalism. So they took Old Major's philosophy concepts and he turned them, the pigs, turned them into a way of life, and they call it as animalism. الحيوانية يعني بمعنى أو حيواني الحياة الحيوان ممكن I don't know. And then another part that I'm talking about is animals rebel. The animals rebel. How did the animals do the rebel? كيف ثاروا يعني الحيوانات. The rebellion comes when Mr. Jones forgets to feed the animals. The owner of a farm, he mistreated his animals. He delayed his feeding his animals, and a fed-up cow pushes her way into the store shed to look for food. So a cow starts the rebellion. The rest of the animals go in to help themselves. Then Mr. Jones and his men try to get the animals back in line, but the animals chase him off the farm. طاردوهم خارج الحديقة أو المزرعة. It belongs to them now. So they took control of a farm. Animals took control of a farm. The animals rejoice in their victory. They changed the name of a farm to Animal Farm. Now the farm has been changed into Animal Farm and decide on 7 commandments to live by the fox of animal equality and avoiding behaving like Jones and avoiding behaving like Mr. Jones, the previous owner of the farm. Okay, so now we turn into how life is good after the rebellion. What happened after the rebellion that the animals did against the man or against human or against the owner of the farm, Mr. Jones. Okay, the animals are happy. They work well together and more efficiently than Mr. Jones ever did. Boxer, the horse. So the name of a horse is Boxer. Always makes a huge effort. His motto is, I will work harder. That's his motto. He will always say, I will work harder. The big begin to teach the others to read and write. Start to give lessons to animals to read and write. It's hinted though that Napoleon steals some milk for himself after the first day's harvest. So that's how he starts to be a tyranny or tyrannical animal. That's the main detailed plot summary of the part 1. Next, we will try to explain the detailed plot summary part 2. Okay, detailed plot summary part 1. Let's see what happened next. The pigs educate the others. What does that mean? How did the pigs did educate others? The pigs, they are in charge actually of a farm. They played a tremendous role in it. The pigs, Snowball and Napoleon, often argued during the meetings. Snowball sets up committees, focusing on education, reading and writing. He reduces animalism to one idea for simpler animals. 4 legs, he tries to teach him 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. That's it. The slogan is sort of against the humans, and the sheep regularly chanted, as we said in the last slide, they interrupt in favor of Napoleon. However, thinks educating the old animals is a waste of time. He thinks educating old animals is a waste of time. He focuses on the youngest, in particular, litter of 9 puppies that he takes away from their mother to educate them himself and tries to put them as a police of a farm. So brings and takes away news and propaganda and things like that he used. The biggest learning to count from the 1954 film, like we'll see later. As you read through the novel, you understand the role of the pigs more. So these are just summaries, okay? And now we turn into second point. The pigs begin to take more food. How does that happen? At this stage, the pigs start taking any extra apples and milk for themselves. Some animals complain, but Esquila persuades them that if the pigs don't get the extra food they need, Jones might return. So it's sort of threatening, threatening them by Mr. Jones. This is enough to make the other animals agree with him. The inequality between the pigs and the others begin here. So when the pigs start to take more food, the equality between the pigs and animals has started to appear on the surface, and there will be a split and arguments among animals later in the novel. Now we turn into a third point. Mr. Jones tries to take back the farm. How does that happen? What did he do? Jones and his men try to retake the farm, but the animals fight against the invasion. الاحتلال. The fight becomes known as the Battle of Cow Shit. The Battle of Cow Shit. The cow that rebels at first and makes all animals off the animal, or all the humans off the farm. Awards are given for bravery to Snowball and Boxer. Boxer is the host. Okay, more regarding the last point, the animals vote on a windmill. Okay, so the animals vote on a windmill. Snowball suggests building a windmill. Napoleon thinks they should spend their time building up food stores instead. As the animals are about to vote on a matter, Napoleon calls his dogs into the barn. Okay, they are now fully grown and they chase Snowball away. So here, where the fight has started among animals, and they rebel against one another. The upcoming slides, or maybe lectures, will see what happened with the maybe detailed blood summary part 3, more details. Now we turn to our last slide, that's detailed blood summary part 3, so continuation of part 1 and 2, 3. We start with the yes, sorry. Napoleon and the pigs break the commandments. How does that happen? Supplies and food run short, and the pigs start trading with the humans. They start trading with the humans actually. They move into the farmhouse, sleep in beds, and get up in an hour later than the other animals. So that's their tyranny. How does their tyranny starts? An incident occurs with some hens who protest against unfair treatment and refuse to hand their eggs over. Napoleon stops their food and 9 of them die as a result. So it's sort of bad treatment to hens. After this, Napoleon holds show trials. Oh my God. Where any animals that had spoken against him has to publicly confess their crimes and is then killed. You see how he applies his tyranny towards his mates, where they start the rebellion together. So who opposes his ideas or orders, they will get executed. Oh man. The men, now we turn to this next point, the men invade and blow up the windmill. Let's say the animals finish the windmill for the second time, but with longer working hours and less food. During another attempted invasion by the men, the windmill is blown up. The pigs then break another commandments. So they start to break the 7 commandments they agreed upon him by drinking alcohol to celebrate the victory of the invasion. The farm is proclaimed a republic and a president is elected, but there was only one candidate to vote for, and that's Napoleon. So you see how tyranny it is. So they have just one person and they want the other animals to vote for, and that's the only one person. So all the voters will go just to one person, one big Napoleon. So let's see what happened with Boxer collapses and is sold. The horse is slaughtered. The Boxer, the one his motto is I will work harder and he will listen to what the other pigs say to him. Let's see what happened to him. Boxer falls whilst rebuilding the windmill. مسكين والله الحصان هذا. The pigs claim they will look after him but sell him to a horse slaughterer. مذبحة الأحصنة أو الحصان. Squealer lies to the other animals, telling them that Napoleon ensured that Boxer got the best treatment. Yeah, he would get the best treatment by slaughtering him. بيذبحوه وهو يكذب. باع على المذبحة وهو يكذب على الحيوانات بحيث أن he gets the best treatment. Oh my God. Possible the pigs used the money from the sale of Boxer to buy whiskey. Yeah, you see. So they used his money actually when they sold him to slaughter, to the horse slaughter المذبح ذبح. Now the pigs become just as bad as Mr. Jones. So when they're in charge, when they've controlled everything on the farm, they started to behave like the former owner of the farm, Mr. Jones. How does that happen? You'll see it in the novel. Time moves on, and the pigs grow fatter. whilst the other animals work harder and are given less food. They now can't remember if they were better or worse off under the rule of Mr. Jones. You see, they start the bad times start to appear on the surface. The pigs learn to walk on two legs and they start to change, you see. They learn to walk on two legs and have adopted all of Mr. Jones' bad habits that old Major told them to avoid in his speech. They invite the humans they once fought against to the farm. Napoleon declares that the farm will be called Manor Farm again. Manor Farm again. The animals watching the meeting cannot tell the difference between the humans and the pigs. So animals now wouldn't differentiate between the two owners. So they come to realize that the pigs, when they're in power, they could do the same or as bad as the humans have done. So you see, power is something bad. When people get into power, animals get into power, they would do things that would never have done before. So it's not trusty. It's never trusty. So that's you see how Mr. George Orwell tries to depict a world politics. And please try to apply what you have got from this presentation into your reading and read the novel critically so you can understand it